All right. Well, it's time for a little bit of a tour slash garden harvest video. Joe from the Carolinas here. Got just crappy bag from one of the one of the grocers locally, and this is just one day. Okay, one day harvest. See what we got. One day harvest. I'm not going to be talking a whole heck of a lot during this. This is more of just a demonstration. Get some basil. Okay. So, we got a tomato and some basil so far, no big deal. Now this plant here is called Seta acuta. It was identified by Stephen Buhner, master herbalist, as a natural antibiotic. So we're going to go ahead and just take some of those and put those into our salad for this evening. Might be a salad, might not be. God only knows. Okay. All right. So now we've got some chicken of the woods mushrooms. There are, some obvious issues here, but we can get some ones that look pretty good, right? We could fry up. Chicken of the woods are high in potassium. Still good even if they're a little dark. All right. In a permaculture system, there is food everywhere. There's food everywhere. So it might be, tomatoes behind the scenes like you're seeing now. These little tomatoes. It might also be this is valerian, okay, valerian root down here, for relaxation purposes, anxiety relief. Don't need any of that today, so I'm not going to harvest it. All right, we have here comfrey, which is really good, for any kind of wounds that you may have. So I've got a couple wounds here. I'm going to rub it on my wounds. Okay, just throw it right back in. Comfrey's pretty good for just kind of taking care of things. All right, so another medicinal in addition to Seta acuta. I'm looking for some squash, whether I've got any squash. I don't seem to have any, and that's fine. No squash is available right now. Once again, this plant might look familiar. It's called Seta acuta, remember? Natural antibiotic. Seta acuta. All right. Let's see how these carrots are doing. Let's see if we can get some nubs. Little nubs. Not good enough, I think, for harvest, these little guys. I'm just going to eat one, keep on trucking, keep on going. Got a little bit of a sweet pepper here. Notice how everything's kind of mixed together. We got some lemon balm. Smells good. Lemon balm. What do we have here? We've got some Joe's cayenne, some cayenne peppers. We're going to take one of those. Yeah, it's a little bit heated there. Get some parsley. Smells really good. Some parsley. Okay. Now we don't. We'll go ahead and get some more of these cherry tomatoes that have been up here. We don't distinguish, against tomatoes that fall versus tomatoes that don't. If they fall, then that means they were meant to fall. Believe me. By the end of this, you'll have more than you'll be able to eat for two people at least. I've got 14 raised beds. 14 raised beds. A little bit different sizes. Okay. Got our bag here. Some 14 different size beds. They're all raised though. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just pick what we want. We're just gonna go ahead and pick what we want. See if we got anything down here under the bed. It doesn't look like we do. It doesn't look like we got any squash down here. That's all right. We got other places. See, when in permaculture, we don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket. We definitely don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket. We want to make sure that when we've got a permaculture system, that we're actually enjoying the fact that we've got an abundance. We've got so much abundance that we really don't even know what in the hell to do with it. All right, so we're changing things as we go along here, changing things. We're changing what? We're changing yield is what we're changing. So it's okay. Now you see, we've got a tomato here, a little cherry tomato that's got a defect in it. You're not going to eat that. I'm not going to eat that. So we're going to throw it. We're going to throw it to the fish. I'm going to throw it to the fish over there. There we go. Fish eat that. All right. Let's go ahead and keep on going here. We've got some. Let's see what kind of. This is Golden Queen tomatoes, and we've got some other parsnips here. So you can see, sometimes I like to mark parsnip, the Harris parsnips. All right, we're going to see what one of those looks like here. Just going to go ahead and pull it out. See, this here's a parsnip. I'm going to go ahead and break it off, and we're going to harvest that parsnip for ourselves again, once a day. Once a day we do these kinds of things. So we're going to pull off all the remnants, pull it out of here, and then we've got these little spiny things. We're just going to stick that stuff right back into the soil without breaking it, so it can continue to produce for us. So remember, when you pull something out of the ground, it does not have to be something that you want to eat right now. You could just be checking on it. All right? You can just be checking on it. No problem. No problem. All right. They get these Harris parsnips. And I see we've got an eggplant, so I'm going to grab one of those. Notice that I'm not grabbing the 2-pound eggplant, you know, mock-up that you see in the supermarket. I'm grabbing a little, you know, 2 egg size eggplant, right? That's all you need to eat, folks. You don't need to eat more than that. You don't need to eat more than that. So there you go. Again, got to put my headband on here. Sorry, I'm getting you all messed up. But just one day, just one harvest one day. Got a lot of stuff here. We got sweet peppers, parsnip, eggplant. We got some tomatoes. We got some different sorts of little hot peppers as well. You know, cayenne peppers. We're gonna get some. Go ahead in here and get some more tomatoes. And of course, I see it right here. We got a nardello pepper. That's a sweet pepper type. All right, we got another one. We can just go ahead and grab that too while we're at it. The more we harvest from the plants, the more we stimulate the plants into production mode. Oh, look at this. Here we go. There we go. Perfect size. Perfect size. You know, for this particular crookneck summer squash. Perfect harvest size, okay? And I apologize to the bee that was in front of us. Apologize to that bee. All right, we got some other stuff here. The bee's going to go ahead and pollinate some more eggplants. I saw him earlier playing around. So go ahead. We'll get some more Golden Queen. All right, it's looking a little bit more golden. And I see back through here we've got some blonde Cafachin tomato. Here, little tomatoes. It's how you grow food, folks. All right. Okay. Here's our new harvest. This is 1, 2, 3 garden beds. 3 garden beds worth of stuff. I got enough here right now to eat for tonight for myself and 2 other people. But we're gonna keep on going because you know, yield is only limited by your imagination. Another Golden Queen tomato. All right, yield is only limited by your imagination. Now these little weird looking things here, these are what we call tomatillos. Tomatillos with tomatillo. You might see in the seed catalog. And so we're going to go ahead and grab them. When that paper husk breaks through, that's time to pick them. Now, you can eat tomatillos anytime you want. You can pick them anytime you want, as a matter of fact. And so it's okay, even if the tomatillo husk looks like that, if it looks papery, right, that's okay. That's good to eat. We're just going to go down here because we've got a number of different plants growing in different areas we weren't planning on. And so we're going to, I mean, look, this is what permaculture is all about. I told you I wasn't going to talk too much, but I have to tell you, when I know I'm being recorded, my excitement just gets the best of me, and I apologize in advance. Go ahead and mute if you want up. Mute up. Just going through here and dealing with the more tomatillo. All right, we got some more tomatoes here. Permaculture for the win. Permaculture for the win. This is not staged. This is my area. I, grow all this stuff from seed. Okay, I'm not going to some farm and producing this stuff for you. It's just how it is. By the way, if you like this flower, it's called Tithonia. Tithonia is the Mexican sunflower, and Tithonia brings in hummingbirds and different sorts of pollinators as well. All right, and so it's one of my permaculture favorites. And the best part about Tithonia, the Mexican sunflower, is that Tithonia grows on its own. It does not need to be irrigated. It does not need to be in any way supported by any of your artificial seasonal sort of irrigation systems. Okay, so that's a good thing. Tithonia, love Tithonia. Mexican sunflower. It's called interplanting. Now we come up on this scraggly mess of deck chairs and corn. Well, what kind of corn is it? It's called giant corn. Giant corn from Peru, as a matter of fact. Now, as it sits the, I've got like a foot at least from here to here. So right now I'm looking at a 1 foot cob, but it's not even done. It's not even halfway done. So it's not mature. But once that corn gets to be going, it's from Peru, that giant corn is going to be out of sight. Out of sight, and it grows up toward the sun. All right, and so anyhow, looking forward to the giant corn from Peru. Now we go into the next bed, which is what is it? Tomatoes. Of course, we got some basil here. We're going to bring that in. We got some tomato vines, and we've got some cucumbers. None of this, by the way, has been sprayed with any chemicals. Like to point that out. There's no chemicals, there's no artificial fertilizer. It's all been compost, and I've just let it go. So what that means is that there could be some pests in here that are trying to eat our crop. There could be some pests. This is the harvest practice. In permaculture, what you're doing is you're going on the land and you're saying, can I eat this at this stage, or do I want it to keep on going? I want this to keep on going. We believe in permaculture, that's something that we, if it's at the level we want to eat, and it's bizarre and it's weird, well, we're ready to eat it. So now we're getting there. We're getting there, and we're getting more, which is why I want to reach back here and I want to get one of these Market More cucumbers. These little guys. It's about the stage that you want to pick it. It's half a foot, so it's about 6 inches. All right, a little less than 7, because from here to here, I've already measured on my body 7 inches. So right there, 6-inch cucumber, go ahead and pick it. 6 inches. That's all you need. That's all you need for a salad. If you wait for them to get as big as they do in the supermarket, then you've waited too long. You don't need a 9 or 10 or 12-inch, 1 foot long cucumber. You don't need it. You just don't need that big of a cucumber. Now, as I say that, you know, here I go. I probably got, what, 10-inch long cucumber, but this is an Armenian cucumber. It's seedless. Armenian cucumbers, that's Armenia. Yep, Armenia. An Armenian cucumber is basically seedless. It is a member of the melon family, and so you're not going to have the toughness, see, that you would with your standard Marketmore 76 cucumber that you might get from one of your seed catalogs. I would also like to point out, I want to thank Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds for constantly and consistently getting their cucumber order wrong. They've sent, y'all have sent me, there's some more Tithony, of course, right? That's a volunteer, but I did not plant that. I did not plant this. I just threw seeds wherever they wanted to go. This is supposed to be, you know, a regular cucumber variety, and unfortunately, Jerry Gettle and the seed company down there in their Petaluma, California store, all right, they've gone ahead and sent this to me. It's a lemon cucumber variety. It's actually a melon, like I said, but this is what happens when you use one seed purveyor. All right, you get something you didn't expect. It's a surprise attack. So anyway, it's not what I ordered, and this is the second time that's happened. So anyways, all the big plants that you see here is Musc du Provence pumpkins, and so that's actually taking up one of the entire walking rows. I have some more Armenian cucumbers here. Of course, there's my drying house and greenhouse, and we've got some other stuff here. So we've got some tomato plants here. It's black crim tomato. Now you might say, well, black crim, you would think it would be black. Nope, it's red. That's just how they're labeled. Go ahead again, just one day. And if you're looking at this and you're like, what is that mess? That must be some kind of a pumpkin. That's right, it's a Musc du Provence pumpkin. Now there's no actual pumpkins yet, but again, pumpkins are a fall crop. So as we planted them here in early July, it is now mid-July. There's no pumpkins left to be seen. But the cool thing is about these pumpkins is that they will grow into what you want by the fall. All right, so pumpkins are something you just want to keep under control during the summer as they're growing like this in my walking rows. All right, they're not bothering me now. They're not bothering me at all. All right, these big leaves, they're big because the leaves are designed to catch the sun when the sun angle goes down. And I'm picking some Matt's Wild Cherry tomatoes here out of this middle bed here. Of course, we can go up and check on this here. When you're picking pumpkins, pumpkins are an interesting thing to pick. You know, you don't want to pick a pumpkin until it's ripe. And you know a pumpkin's ripe when it's actually got some color in it. Unlike tomatoes. Now, you know, these tomatoes here, these Matt's Wild Cherry tomatoes, grown from seed, started from seed and propagated, even though these particular ones that I'm picking right now are not exactly fully red, like this, which is this one, which is a little late, these other orange ones are fine. If they spend, you know, 2 days, 3 days without being eaten, they will eventually turn to that color red. Okay, and or even that color red. So we're going to put them in the bag. This bag, by the way, is getting heavy. I would estimate it to be probably about 10 pounds. Easy. 10 pounds easy, one day. Permaculture. I do not take care of any of the plots or, you know, what have you that I'm actually picking from. I don't take care of them. If you notice, I put like one little, you know, tie on the actual tomatillo plant, and then it's just whatever, I just let it go. You do not need to baby your plants. Your plants are probably better off not being babied. I hear some thunder. We got some storm clouds overhead. That's fine. Not that big of a deal. You know, in permaculture, we really don't care about the weather. The weather is something that actually we enjoy. We go out when it rains. We go out when it thunders. We need that. We know we need that. Now I'm just looking through here to see what I can pick. The cool thing about plants is that when you pick these vegetable plants and you pick the fruits off of them, it releases a hormone in the plant that stimulates the actual vegetable plant into producing more, because the plant feels like, oh no, I'm getting picked from. I need to create more seed, and that's where it actually comes from. This is a Belize pink heart tomato plant. If you notice that particular variety, it looks kind of like a heart. It's kind of heart-shaped. Again, we're getting heavy here. Now this here's old, as you can tell. This is an asparagus plant bed that's just kind of going off into ferns, and that's fine. You know, we'll just shake them ferns. We're not gonna try to beat them into submission. Just shake the ferns, let them know that we're still interested in getting some spears next year. There we go. All right, let's see what our harvest looks like so far. I mean, this thing is, look, this is more than we actually need. We're gonna have to do some drying. We'll do some sun drying, you know, and maybe we'll put them in the food dehydrator. All right, we've got our parsnip, we've got our mushroom, we've got all kinds of tomatoes and tomatillos and peppers and different herbs. It's just amazing. I mean, when you have an abundance, folks, let me tell you, when you have an abundance, you are gonna wonder. We got some chamomile here too. You are gonna just try to come up with all kinds of creative solutions to figure out how to deal with the abundance. And you may or may not. You may or may not. Now, as I speak to you, this is the food forest. We've got some fruit trees here. And we've got some viners, and we've got some ground cover. And we've got some shrubs and bushes and all kind of stuff in here. This is year one. What that means is this is less than 1 year after this entire area was planted from literally clay. I had a track hoe in here. I carved out one swale in this direction and one swale up here. Let me just go ahead and move. So one swale here, as you can see, boom. One swale there with all the refuse, excess put over there. And then I got one swale carved into here with all the excess put into here, and that's where I planted all them fruit trees and nut trees. We got some nut trees as well up there. All right. And so we have a horseradish growing naturally, never irrigated. It's never been irrigated. As you can see, the tag horseradish 2017. It's just been placed there. All right, so let's go ahead down this swale and keep these kinds of things around, these kinds of buckets around in case we run into a drought or whatever. We just kind of go ahead and do it to it. Just go ahead and let that water go into the system. I did broadcast seed like that, a number of different vegetable varieties. Right here we've got a daikon radish, right? Daikon radish is a soil spike. I just pulled that out for an example. All right, daikon radishes are good. They help to spike the soil. If this plant looks familiar, you're right, it's called Tithonia. It's that Mexican sunflower. All right, again, we've got some comfrey. We're on the downhill side of the swale, so we're liable to find things that thrive off of moisture, because the downhill side of a swale means that all of that moisture comes down that hill and soaks into the landscape. So we should find some fruit somewhere around here. Some kind of fruit, I don't know. Here we go. A pickling cucumber variety. Again, just kind of scattered. Here's another one. Into our bag. Our bag's almost full. Now you're going to say, well, what is this? Well, we've got cucumbers, and then underneath of here, this is a sweet potato variety. So I'm staggering my succession. What that means is, once the cucumber vines die down, then that will make room for the sweet potatoes to totally populate the area, so I'll be able to harvest sweet potatoes. All right. Looks like we got another cucumber here. Again, I do hear some thunder, but I'm feeling really good. Here's another cucumber. Big one. Might have to go up to the house and get another bag, for crying out loud. But you know, because I'm on this venture, here's some arugula that's taken seed. All right, smells exactly like arugula. Okay, you know, if you broadcast seed in a permaculture system, you really don't have to worry about when things are going to come to maturity. You just take a handful of seeds and you throw it out there. Things will happen. They will absolutely happen. As an example, you know, it's not ripe yet, but just to give you an example, I threw these tomato seeds out here in this particular area, and here I have a tomato plant that's volunteer. I didn't even irrigate the damn thing. There's no irrigation lines, as you could see. Didn't even irrigate it. And because I placed it downhill of this swale that I dug, you know, I've already got some tomatoes that are getting ready to go. So anyway, permaculture's got it. Here's some more. Oh my God, we're doing good with these cucumbers. I'll have to bring some to work. I mean, that's the other thing, that, you know, when a little bit of a drop off there. I mean, this is just to give you an instance of what these terraces look like, what a terrace-based system looks like, right? And so, so I've got some more. I've got another squash, and looks like I've got some more growing in there, but these could probably be picked, you know, in a couple days. I really don't want to pick those now. I've got enough. We're growing. I've got about 15 pounds now, I think. I'm just guesstimating just by hand weight. I mean, look at the damn thing. It's almost getting ready to break. And that's just once around the property. You know, the beauty with permaculture is that sometimes yield can actually exceed your imagination. And I like that. I like when my own projects exceed my expectations. So, anyhow. All right. Now, of course, this particular swale, we got these berries that are coming up, these raspberries that are coming up. We know they're coming. And of course, as I'd mentioned before, they are on a terrace system, right? So I don't want to fall down off of that. But this particular terrace system is supplied, not too neatly, I might add, by this pipe, which is uphill, which feeds from the fish pond, which is over there. So this particular terrace system and all these wonderful plants are actually naturally, from a gravity standpoint, irrigated with effluviant, with fish crap from the fish pond, and goes right down and then gets soaked into the landscape anytime it storms or rains. So, you know, the fish crap is actually our benefit. It actually helps us a great deal. I mean, I really think that this thing is probably more like 30 pounds now. I'm really having a hard time carrying this for too long. Maybe it's because I'm weak, but I don't know. On this kind of system, you know, you got frogs in here, you got fish in here, and you know, the frogs in here are huge. There he goes, another one. I mean, you know, some of the frogs in here, you could probably eat a good like quarter pound of meat right off of the damn frog legs. Okay. And then remember, the runoff goes into the forest garden. It goes into the swale system, so that's always a benefit as well. And of course, conveniently positioned, we have our fire pit. So if there's any kind of evidence of tomato disease or what have you, you know, from any of our garden beds up here, or any of our apple trees. Yeah, we got some apple trees here, right? They call this an espalier, E-S-P-A-L-I-E-R, espalier based system. You know, any of these sort of apples from these apple trees in the espalier system, as I can show you there, right? They're not the prettiest ones, but, you know, based out of the kind that you get in the store, they're Granny Smith apples. This whole system is basically facing southeast. Southeast, well, the sun rises in the east, in the northern hemispheres, and stays in the south and then sets in the west. So this entire system is based on terraces that capture through the stone, the natural stone, the heat of the sun, retains that heat and then holds it over the course of each evening. Each one of these terraces releases that heat at night. And so there's your system. Now you could put all kind of different sorts of ornamentals, if you'd like, you know, in that kind of a system, or you know, if you don't want to, you don't have to. It's your system. But when it comes to irrigation, just remember that water flows downhill, right? And so now we're looking from the top, looking down onto each of these terraces, and then down into the system. And so that's what permaculture is. Permaculture is the interaction of all these. And of course we have the wind, the rain, and the actual insects that come into the flowers, that come in and are drawn in and then predate upon the other insects that are in this particular system, right? And so what we end up with is a daily harvest. I'm gonna go ahead and dump this out, because look, I mean, this bag that this little grocery bag, it's already breaking through. I mean, this is a one-day harvest, folks. To me, that looks pretty good. To me, that looks sustainable. If I can pull this kind of harvest out every damn day throughout the harvest season, I could probably survive off of that. Matter of fact, I could probably survive off of that. My kin can survive off of that, and I might even have enough to give the neighbors. That's one day, no effort. Just the only effort I put into it was harvesting. I want to show you one more thing before I tune out for this evening for you. Going up to the highest point in the property, what do you see? You see a lot of bottles. A lot of these bottles have these weird marks on it. No, this is not Satanism. This is just a mark with a magic marker letting you know that this is pure rainwater based off of a 1,550 gallon rainwater harvesting system off of this roof over here. All right, based off of this roof. So now in permaculture, at the highest point of your property, you want to catch this water. You catch the water, so if you run into a drought, you've got the water on hand to prevent against all your plants that are feeding you from dying. And so the way you tell whether your water harvesting system is full, that your water tank is full or not, is by hooking up a hose, and you use gravity to your benefit. So we're going to watch, and we're going to slowly lower this particular hose end, and we're going to see right there, see how the water's starting to flow? What that means is that this water level, now that it's coming, see, now it's not coming out of this hose. Now that the water is coming out of the hose, the end of this hose, we know that this water level is right there. We know that this tank is exactly that much full, and we can prove that. We can prove that by lowering it and seeing how the water comes out even more. How the water comes out even more. So we'll raise it up, and we know we've got this much water. So we've got between 1,200 gallons in this particular tank and 1,500 gallons in this tank. Right there, just based off of that simple little test. And that's how you know. Anyways, folks, thanks for tuning in. I've got to go make some dinner now. Joe from the Carolinas signing off. Until next time, you know, start your own system. Grapevines on the side of the driveway there. You know, start your own system. Do it to it. Yield is only limited by your imagination. Let's all garden for victory. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. Bye.